The CEO froze mid-sentence. Her eyes moved from the little girl's face to the man standing nervously across the desk. "Why?" she asked quietly. "Does your daughter look exactly like me?" The room went silent. The single dad swallowed hard. He hadn't planned for this moment. He'd only come for a job interview, one last chance to keep his life from falling apart. His daughter squeezed his hand, unaware that one question had just reopened a past he buried years ago. "I never wanted to lie," he said softly. "But I didn't know how to tell the truth either." Years ago, he explained, he had been a junior employee at a small startup. He and a brilliant, driven woman had fallen in love. She dreamed big, bigger than the city, bigger than the country. When an overseas opportunity came, she chose her future. He chose to stay. She left, not knowing she was pregnant. By the time he tried to reach her, she was gone. New number, new life, and later a new name that the whole world would know: CEO, billionaire, icon. "I raised her alone," he continued. "Not because I wanted to keep her from you, but because I didn't know how to reach you anymore." The CEO's eyes filled with tears. She knelt in front of the little girl, her voice shaking. "What's your name?" The girl smiled. "Isla." The name hit her like a memory she never knew she lost. In that moment, the boardroom, the power, the position, none of it mattered. She had missed first steps, first words, first birthdays. A whole life gone. The CEO stood up, took a deep breath, and looked at the man she once loved. "You didn't come here for a job," she said. "You came here because fate finally caught up with us." She turned to her assistant. "Clear my schedule." Then to the single dad. "And you're not leaving." Some meetings change careers. Some questions change lives. She took them to her private office, the one no employee ever entered without permission. The glass doors closed, sealing off the noise of the world outside. The CEO paced slowly, her heels echoing on the marble floor. Every few seconds, her eyes drifted back to Isla. Her eyes, her smile, even the small dimple on her left cheek. It felt unreal, like looking at a reflection from a life she never lived. "Why didn't you fight harder to find me?" she finally asked, her voice calm, but fragile. The single dad lowered his head. "I did. For months. Emails bounced back. Numbers were disconnected. And then I saw you on the news, rising fast, surrounded by lawyers and security. I thought, someone like you wouldn't want to hear from someone like me anymore." That hurt more than she expected. Isla tugged gently on the CEO's sleeve. "Are you my auntie?" she asked innocently. The CEO's breath caught. She knelt down again, forcing a smile through tears. "No, sweetheart," she whispered. I'm your mom." The word felt heavy, powerful, terrifying. Isla looked at her father, confused. He nodded slowly. "It's okay, Beta. She's telling the truth." The little girl studied the CEO for a long moment, then reached out and touched her hand. "You look kind," she said. "Can you stay?" That was the moment the CEO broke. She wrapped her arms around her daughter, holding her as if the world might take her away again. For the first time in years, she wasn't a leader or a billionaire or a legend. She was just a mother who had finally found her child. The next morning, the entire building felt different. Rumors moved faster than emails. Assistants whispered. Executives glanced nervously toward the CEO's office, where the door had been closed for hours. Inside, the CEO sat across from the single dad, a contract folder lying untouched between them. This time, it wasn't business that made her hands tremble. "I missed 8 years," she said quietly. "I can't get them back, but I won't miss another day." He nodded, cautious. "I never wanted to take her away from you. She's my whole world. But she deserves to know where she comes from." Isla sat on the couch, coloring happily, unaware that her future was being rewritten with every sentence. "I won't fight you," the CEO continued. "I want us to do this together. No courts, no headlines, no press." That surprised him. "You're not afraid of what people will say?" She smiled sadly. "For years, I built an empire by not caring what people said. I won't start now, especially when it comes to my daughter." There was a knock at the door. Her assistant entered, tense. The board wants to know why today's investor meeting was canceled. The CEO didn't even look up. Tell them, she said calmly. I'm handling a matter more important than money. The assistant froze, then nodded and left. The single dad exhaled slowly. For the first time, he believed her. Later that day, as they walked out of the building together, Isla held both their hands. One small bridge between two broken pasts. The world still didn't know who she was. But soon, everything was about to change. That evening, they sat together in the CEO's penthouse, the city lights glowing like a different universe outside the windows. Isla fell asleep on the couch, her head resting on the CEO's shoulder, her tiny fingers still holding onto her mother's jacket. The CEO didn't move. She was afraid that if she did, the moment might disappear. I don't know how to be a mother, she admitted softly. I know how to lead companies. I know how to win battles. But this scares me. The single dad smiled gently. You don't have to be perfect. She just needs you to be real. She looked down at Isla, brushing a strand of hair from her face. All these years, I thought success would fill the emptiness. But holding her, I finally understand what was missing. There was a pause, a heavy one. What about us? She asked quietly, not meeting his eyes. He hesitated. We're not the same people we were back then. Life changed us. She nodded, accepting the truth. But maybe it didn't break everything. Just then, her phone buzzed nonstop. Messages, alerts, missed calls. A leaked photo. Someone had seen them leave together. The headline was already spreading. Powerful CEO spotted with mystery child and unknown man. She closed the phone and took a deep breath. They're coming for answers, she said. The single dad met her gaze. Then tell the truth. She looked at her sleeping daughter and made a decision that would shock the world. For the first time, she said firmly, I won't protect my empire. I'll protect my family. The next day, the truth stood on the edge of the world. News vans lined the street outside the building. Cameras waited. Social media burned with questions, guesses, and lies. Inside, the CEO stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her blazer with steady hands that didn't feel steady at all. The single dad watched quietly, Isla holding his leg, sensing something big was about to happen. Once I step out there, the CEO said, nothing will ever be the same. He nodded. It already changed the moment you looked into her eyes. She crouched in front of Isla. Sweetheart, a lot of people are going to look at us today. Don't be scared. Just hold my hand. Isla smiled. Like yesterday? Yes, she whispered. Just like yesterday. They walked out together. Flashes exploded. Reporters shouted questions. The noise was overwhelming, until the CEO raised her hand. This is my daughter, she said clearly. And this is her father. Silence. I didn't know about her for years, she continued. That was fate, not abandonment. From today on, I won't hide my family to protect my position. If that costs me power, so be it. The world reacted instantly. Stocks dipped. Board members panicked. Critics attacked. Others praised her courage. Behind the scenes, the board issued an ultimatum. Step down temporarily or face removal. That night, she signed the papers herself. No press, no drama. She walked out of the office for the last time, holding Isla's hand, the single dad walking beside her. She wasn't sure what tomorrow would bring, but for the first time in her life, she was absolutely sure she had chosen the right thing.